Now at 5, Joplin residents take part in a roundtable discussion about advocating for the arts community. Plus, Pitt State's president has a new plan to raise money for the school year. And
Senate negotiators could be in the final phases of reaching a bipartisan border and immigration deal. I'm Natalie Brandt on Capitol Hill with where talks stand.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
community members in the Joplin area came together today to prepare for future meetings with Missouri legislators. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Participants in a roundtable discussion looked at strategies to advocate for the arts in our area. The executive director of Connect to Culture says it's the first step of training that'll make discussions with state legislators easier.
The economic impact of the arts and culture sector in Joplin, where we found that the arts industry is a $5.9 million industry. So maybe that would get someone excited about the arts, because people that spend their money on the arts are more likely to spend that money more locally.
This roundtable comes just 2 weeks before Missouri's Arts Advocacy Week. During that time, art leaders in our area will make their way to Jefferson City to discuss the importance of arts and our state legislators. High school students from all over the area came to Pitt State today for an FBLA competition. FBLA stands for Future Business Leaders of America. It's a chance for students to show off their skills in a variety of fields, including business ethics, event planning, and broadcast journalism, which was judged by our very own Tanya Bach.
Which the judges are there to help them improve their skills, not looking to figure out who are you not going to hire for the job.
I think that it's so important to develop these qualities early on in life, and I think that it will help prepare myself for the future.
There were a total of 395 students from 16 schools scheduled to compete. After biking across Kansas last year, Pitt State's president has a new idea to fundraise for the school this year. Dan Shipp today announced plans to golf across the 4 states. It's an attempt to raise $3 million for scholarships for student athletes. From May 13th through May 24th, Shipp will golf at 8 courses throughout Kansas, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Arkansas.
Spend time connecting with different communities that we missed maybe on the bike trip last year, and raise dollars for student athlete scholarships. So if you think about it, all this work is focused on bringing more dollars to support our students.
All the money raised during that trip is going to support the school's Silverback Fund. Not exactly golf weather at the moment. Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
No, we've had light showers, fog, and drizzle throughout the daytime hours for us today. Not a lot of rain, but for the month, we're just shy of 2 inches. So our departure from normal, we have started out 2024 above average, which is always good to see. We do have the fog out there tonight. It's not too bad outside of Pittsburgh, but look at this. This is range line, very thick fog. And we're going to see that tonight. Dense, patchy fog. So that is definitely going to lower your visibilities throughout the overnight hours. Temperatures staying well above freezing, sitting into lower 40s. We do have another batch of light showers, which is working in. So we're going to have on and off showers as we go through the evening hours for us tonight. But look at our temps. We hold into the lower 40s, and we have plenty of rain chances sticking around the rest of the week. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
Catch in a few. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled the federal government can remove parts of the razor wire barrier installed by Texas to keep migrants from crossing the Mexico border. Natalie Brand reports now from Washington.
Razor wire installed by the state of Texas along the U.S.-Mexico border can now be removed by the federal government following a ruling by the Supreme Court. In a 5-4 decision, justices sided with the Biden administration, allowing the barrier's removal while the legal challenge plays out in lower court.
Border Patrol needed access, and that's why we sued to get rid of that razor wire so that they could do their jobs.
The decision comes as Senate negotiators close in on a bipartisan deal that would impose tougher immigration and asylum laws in the U.S.
Negotiators are still working through some outstanding items. All of us want to reach an agreement, but it is very important that we get this right.
Republicans have pushed for significant limits on asylum and stepped up deportation efforts in exchange for funding for Ukraine and Israel. But timing on a vote remains unclear.
I just don't know that it gets to the point of confidence level that would allow a yes vote yet. Certainly, I want to be a yes vote, but I'm not a yes vote today.
Mustafar Shishti, a senior fellow with the Migration Policy Institute, calls the talks a good start.
Congress hasn't been able to agree on anything bipartisan on immigration in more than 30 years. So just the fact that there is actually a bipartisan effort to deal with an aspect of immigration problem is worth noting.
A sticking point in negotiations has been the president's ability to let people into the country through humanitarian parole. Since taking office, President Biden has used immigration parole at a historic scale, admitting 1 million migrants into the U.S. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
It's all eyes on the New Hampshire primary tonight. Voting is underway right now in the second contest in the race for the Republican presidential nomination. Polls favor former President Donald Trump by a wide margin, but Nikki Haley is hoping to cash in with independents and the anti-Trump voters. The manhunt for a suspect wanted for killing 8 people in Illinois is over. The 8 victims were found shot and killed in 3 locations in the Chicago area over the weekend. The suspect, Romeo Nance, then led authorities on a manhunt across state lines. Authorities say Nance took his own life after engaging in a standoff with U.S. Marshals in a town near San Antonio, Texas. Just ahead, treatment accomplishing what was once thought to be impossible.
New technology is helping stroke patients get their mobility back. I'm Michael George with one survivor's inspiring story.
Plus, what new research shows about how the COVID vaccine impacts babies in utero. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, COVID-19 vaccines given to pregnant women do not hurt their baby's neurodevelopment. Researchers with UC San Francisco found babies up to 18 months old showed no significant difference in brain development. Children were screened for communication, gross motor, fine motor, problem solving, and social skills. A new stroke treatment is accomplishing what was once thought to be impossible, restoring mobility years after a stroke. Michael George shows us one patient's remarkable progress.
When Jim Nordgaard had a stroke 10 years ago, his life changed in an instant.
Could do anything, mountain bike, golf, do whatever, and then becoming totally helpless, and it was awful.
And down. He made some initial progress, but after the first 6 months, he found it nearly impossible to restore the movement he'd lost.
I plateaued, and I wasn't getting any better, and it was frustrating, and I was looking for different remedies, searching the internet all the time.
He learned about a procedure at Mount Sinai called paired vagus nerve stimulation. A stimulation device called Vivistem is surgically implanted in the neck, and a battery is placed in the chest.
People get a little bit.
Neurosurgeon Christopher Kellner says it was already being used to treat depression and epilepsy, but now they're having great success using it on stroke patients.
It enhances their ability to respond to rehab. So it augments the rehab function, gives them a chance to do much better.
And then you're going to grab that.
Jim or his physical therapist can activate the device when he wants to do physical activity.
It was life-changing. So now I can pour and I can drink, whereas before, I wouldn't even try. I can walk. Like today I walked 5 miles to get here and just to walk around.
So far, it's being used on patients with strokes typically caused by a blood clot, and it takes months of physical therapy to be successful. But the results are promising.
This is a group of patients who had no treatment options before, and now we've suddenly got something to offer them.
Giving stroke patients back something they thought they'd lost for good.
There you go.
Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The biggest challenge now is that procedure is not covered by insurance in most cases. Doctors hope that changes as the surgery becomes more common. People with obesity who improve their social isolation lower their risk of early death. A study in JAMA Network Open shows people are up to 36% less likely to die from obesity-related causes after increasing their social interaction. Researchers say socializing was more important than other factors like physical activity and diet. Just 1 to 3 energy drinks a month are linked to poor sleep and insomnia among college students. Plus, symptoms get worse with greater consumption. As you might expect, researchers in Norway calculated those who drank one every day sleep around half an hour less than those who never drink them or have one only on occasion. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, what a new Consumer Reports test shows about plastic chemicals in our food.
Plus, we have more rain for us tonight, also very dense fog. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, another cloudy day for us today. We had rain last night that mainly just kind of drizzled today, patchy fog at times, and that's what we are seeing out there right now. Another wet evening, but a nice shot of Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Indigo just southwest of Seneca, Missouri. However, the fog is going to be very thick all night long, all the way into the morning hours for us tomorrow. Visibility's 2 miles and less, depending on where you get into that patchy fog across the region. So be careful if you are going to be out during the overnight hours tonight, and that is going to, of course, cause some issues across the region. All right, so we have some showers which have been picking up mainly in our southern counties along and south of I-44. They're very light, but you can see those showers out there, and then you can see them kind of picking up a little bit in northeastern Oklahoma. We don't have very heavy rain by any means. It's very light, Joplin, Neosho down to Pineville, also Grand Lake. But as we go through the overnight hours, the showers will start to pick up. Now, notice the temperatures across the board were mainly lower 40s. You got upper 30s in our western counties, but we don't have to worry about anything frozen as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight, which is good news. As we continue through the night, on and off light showers. So here's midnight, temperatures hold into lower 40s, and then our showers start to dissipate a little bit as we get into the morning hours tomorrow. You're still going to wake up to some light showers, fog, and drizzle, very similar to what we have seen today. Now, rainfall tonight is going to be light. Most of us, 1/10 of an inch, maybe 2/10 of an inch in spots, just kind of that very light rain that we have seen over the past couple days. Temperatures, though, at least we're not flirting with freezing. We're sitting at 42 Lamar, 43 in Cassville. Miami at 36. Chanute is sitting at 42 degrees. And check out this fog. This is crazy. This is Rangeline, one of our MoDOT cameras, and you can hardly see it. Visibility is very low, 43 degrees, and we have drizzle across the region. Through the evening, we hold into lower 40s, on and off showers across the area as this wave works through. This is our third wave we've already seen since yesterday morning. Back to the west, here's another wave which will affect us, a much weaker one, but kind of late tomorrow into Friday, and then a bigger system which will affect us late Friday into Saturday. So we continue with those rounds of rain as we go through the next several days. So the showers tonight, as we go to about the noon hour tomorrow, cloudy skies, a little bit of drizzle. As we get into the afternoon, temperatures not bad, near 50 degrees. Tomorrow night into Thursday morning, here's that next weak little wave, a few random showers heading through into Thursday morning, and then Thursday afternoon, not bad, upper 40s to near 50 degrees. Day planner on your Wednesday, 41 in the morning, 46 by 1, up to 47 as we get into the afternoon hours. Your 7-day, let's go 50 on Wednesday. Again, we're going to have morning fog, few showers Thursday. Temps good into the 50s. Our next bigger system moves in late Friday and Saturday, so that will be more persistent rain. We cool off a bit for the weekend, but no freezing temperatures for daytime highs over the next 10 days.
And that sounds great.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, why the Federal Trade Commission ruled against TurboTax in an advertising case. Topping today's Consumer Watch, you're going to soon have another franchise restaurant option in Joplin. Wingstop is preparing to open at 1421 Rangeline and is now taking applications for management positions. You can find more information at KOAMnewsnow.com. Federal Trade Commission ruled against TurboTax. The agency found parent company Intuit deceived customers by advertising its tax services as free. Problem is, those tax services end up not being free for a lot of users, like those who must file 1099 forms. The FTC ordered Intuit to either stop advertising as free or, here's an idea, make its services free for all customers. Intuit blasted the appeals process, saying the commission serves as accuser, judge, and jury. If the adage is true that you are what you eat, well, then there's more evidence that we're all part of a plastic world, or maybe that plastic is a part of us. A new test from Consumer Reports found high levels of plastic chemicals in some food products that might surprise you. Bradley Blackburn has details.
A popular brand of soda, a chocolate protein shake, fast food chicken nuggets, and even baby food. Inside all of them, the chemicals found in plastic.
It's very hard to avoid these chemicals completely. They're everywhere in food and food packaging.
Consumer Reports tested dozens of processed foods for plasticizers called phthalates and found them in almost every single product. But the amount varied wildly, just 22 nanograms per serving in one barbecue sauce, while a canned organic ravioli had more than 53,000. Consumer Reports says they don't know how phthalates got there, whether it's in the raw ingredients or the packaging, or how the products are prepared.
They can get there through food production or through contaminated water and soil.
It's hard to say at an individual level what the risk is or what a safe level is.
John Meeker with the University of Michigan School of Public Health says some studies have found evidence phthalates could increase the risk of multiple health problems, especially with reproduction and hormones.
In males, that's things like decreased testosterone, declined sperm quality. In females, that might be count and quality of eggs available.
There is no way for consumers to know when phthalates are present. Consumer Reports found differences between nearly identical pizzas.
We're calling on the FDA to set some limits for these chemicals.
They say it's another reason to limit processed products and eat fresh, whole foods instead. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
Consumer Reports also says you shouldn't microwave or cook foods in plastic containers. We've heard that for a while. And it might be worth cutting out plastic cutting boards in your kitchen, opting for wood or silicone instead. Are self-checkouts a self-inflicted headache for retailers? Well, according to a new study, customer loyalty is on a downward trend, partly because people don't want to ring up their own items. Drexel University researchers say a so-called regular checkout, the kind with an employee, makes consumers more likely to return. They say interactions make customers, quote, feel like they were treated more valuably. As a result, many retailers are making changes to their self-checkout policies, checking out some options. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, a look at the top issues that matter to New Hampshire voters, at least according to the polls. Then on KOAM News at 6, why a Carthage City Council member could get censured at tonight's meeting. Plus, how the recent frigid temperatures have impacted area trash services. And our sports team is at the Paycom Center in Oklahoma City as the Thunder get set to take on the Portland Trailblazers. They're going to report from there to break down the matchup as OKC looks to take first place in the Western Conference tonight. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Two-time Super Bowl MVP delivered a special handoff today. Eli Manning paired a guide dog with Thomas Panic. He's the president of the Guiding Eyes for the Blind. The dog, named 10 for Manning's jersey number, went through a special running guide program, which means he can help Panic run long-distance races on top of moving through the obstacles of everyday life. Those guide dogs are amazing. This one more than usual. The fog out there, it is dense.
Yeah, it's super thick, and it's going to stay super thick as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight, and patchy fog again for us tomorrow. We are going to have showers tonight, on and off, light, and then drizzle tomorrow and a few showers Thursday, and then rain picks up again late Friday into Saturday as well.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.